There's 3 keywords when it comes to this beauty: strength, high contrasts, individuality, because what we're trying to do is to reveal the beauty.
Just pick a feature or two and you try to enhance those features, bringing out the style and the personality of the model.
It's almost like looking at skin under a magnifying glass, perfecting so minutely the tiny, tiny details, so that overall it is just perfect and it's real.
The key element during this summer is subtleness, creating smooth, translucent, minimalism.
The idea of feminine, radiant skin is now set in this context of temperatures, humidity versus arid, sand-blown neutrals. It's this new kind of take on radiance.
I think this makeup is really about working on the skin, customizing the makeup, and it's not just about covering it completely.
Transparent skin, translucent skin, working with lots of cream products.
Scrubbed looking and naturally defined shadows and creases.
Cream color based bronze, very light. Nothing on the lips, just a little sculpting, eyebrow, just brush. No, it's okay, it's beautiful.
We are using blushes with fingertips to be super natural.
It's a really big emphasis on coral. Everything else is kept really clean, really simple, and effortless.
Resurfacing, neutralizing the face, everything's very milky with this mother of pearl finish.
Everything is mixed with moisturizer to get lightweight textures and sheer finishes. Face and body plus moisturizer, coffee eye pencil plus lip conditioner, everything is mixed and blended.
Each skin is different and each one needs a different treatment. So the undertones are really important to achieve the perfect skin and make it look like perfect for each model.
What we're really doing is covering what needs to be covered, but let a little bit of the redness show through, let the natural texture show through, let freckles be seen, really keeping it as raw and as real as possible.
We're working with undertones, luminosity, and with hints of color. So it's all about opening up the features again. The play on color is just a lot more multi-layer and delicately placed to either recreate opalescence or simply to just bring life to the face.
It's a season of textures, but they're really refined, maybe even with kaleidoscopic shots of pastel, but always see the skin coming through.
Everything is a stain and everything has a little bit of something, but it's very minimal.
Pebble greys, muted colours, really pushed into the skin, so everything really coming from within.
We mix the lip mix crimson and fuchsia to get that really thin texture of a very bright red. Classic, clean, elegant, very graceful.
A really lovely watercolory wash on the eye, and then a really soft focused blurred lip.
It's about textures building up on top of each other, but to look as if they've got an affinity with the skin.
Starting with a very soft sepia and then adding something that's a little bit more flushed, which I think is kind of modern because it gives it a little bit of life.
It's all about using color in a very transparent way and with a specific finish, which is that kind of kissable or sensual texture.
white light, and I really wanted to have a kind of coolness to the skin that looks like it's bathed in light. You get these kind of high spotlit areas and their skin comes through it, so you create shadows and light by leaving pieces and also by highlighting others.
A lot of thought and a lot of craft into the use of multi-highlights, gloss into a cream, into a moisture, into the natural skin. So everything, even in its simplicity, is completely moulded into the skin.
Using different textures, different colors of light, we contour with light.
It's a frost and a matte, and really small brushes, placing those frosts in very particular, deliberate places to get those pops of shine.
The skin is refreshed. We're giving it a natural, reflective radiance by using all things sparkly and shimmery.
We concentrate on the eyelid with a white matte eyeshadow, not too opaque. I want to feel like very feminine, very elegant with a twist.
It's all about kind of buffing and polishing on the high planes of the face. So as the light hits the face, you're getting this gorgeous reflection.
It just makes them have a dimension that's invisible almost. So if you start looking and you see all the shapes that have been enhanced by these little itsy bitsy details.
This season seems to be about the very kind of feminine details of an eye or an eyeliner. Slightly retrospective, but giving this kind of modern twist on shape, negative spaces, gaps, straight lines rather than feline flicks, which I think is pretty much a modern aesthetic.
There's 101 ways to do eyeliner, but the technique and the shape and the length changes the story.
It's a very solid black carbon eye. We're doing a shape that's really quite specific. Punky, a little bit gothic, but it had to be very straight. So there's no flicks.
Masses and masses of mascaras, individually coating each lash, like, you know, how Lauren Hutton and those fabulous girls in the 70s would do it.
It's a very black liner with a wet effect, so it has that kind of three-dimensional shine to it.
John Waters, but 50s, futuristic. It's quite a defined cat eye, but you know, everything else is handled with restraint, so it's got a nice balance to it.
What we were looking for was really rich, intense lash lines.
A little bit dirty, a little bit more raw.
The line is quite thick, it's quite lived in, and a little bit more blurred.
It's not perfect. There is that creamy consistency, and it might end up in a place where you don't want it to be.
Anti-beauty, if you like, so deconstructing what is essentially gorgeous and making it a bit kind of cooler, I guess.
There's a lot this season of looking at the way that light falls on the face. It's all about an arrangement of highlights and shadows, kind of shifting or twisting the light source. So it makes beauty a lot more interesting and a lot more dynamic.
Non-stop, non-stop, non-stop.